Hey there, thank you for joining me for another episode of Total Ramblings. It's about 2 o'clock on Sunday, the 1st of June. It's Leader Month. Yes, of course, we have Leader Day, which is my birthday on the 27th of June, making June, the whole of June, Leader Month. This is, of course, in my guise as Dr. Sinister. Leader Month doesn't tend to get celebrated much these days. I don't think I bothered last year because Liz was in hospital. But yeah, just thought I'd mention it. Please send presents, etc. Would quite like Mavic 4 Fly More combo if you'd like to send me that. It is about $3,500, unfortunately. So, you know, I quite understand if you don't want to. That's absolutely fine. This is my first video using my DJI mic minis. Literally just picked them up. So interesting to see how they work. Basically, a bit of a faff, right? So I've got DJI mic 2s, but I used to have one paired with this camera and one paired with my Osmo Pocket. And but every time I would want to interview Liz or something at hospital, I needed 2 microphones. I'd have to repair it, and I do find the pairing a bit hit and miss. If I'm honest, it's probably because of my clumsy fat fingers and the fact that I don't actually remember what to do, even though the instructions tell you. But the lights don't always do, I think, what the lights are supposed to do. So basically, yeah, because I kind of had a bonus this month. Most of which has gone on the house. I've bought DJI mic minis too, so now both of my mic 2s are paired with the Osmo Pocket, and both of my mic minis are now paired with this, and I just think that's going to make it a little bit easier. Also, I just fancied spending a little bit of money, so yes, I do get an annual bonus. It's not really a bonus. So basically a percentage of my pay is performance related. So in other words, if you do a crap job, you don't get the money, but it's part of your base salary. It's not like a bonus where, you know, you do brilliantly, you get extra money. This is money that you would due anyway, but yeah, so kind of works the same. But anyway, unfortunately, most of that money has had to go on the house. I had to borrow £2,500 from my mother-in-law, thank you mother-in-law, about a month ago to pay for the pipe work and the reconcreting in of my underground pipes in my extension. So I've paid her back now. I've also got to keep back £500 for a insurance claims excess because for reinstatement of my shower. Now, they've offered me a sum of £3,500, which means I'd get £3,000 after the excess. And I went back to A1 Bathrooms, who did the work in the first place because I trust them, and they gave me a quote of £8,500, now £7,000, which is still double what the insurance company are offering me. Now, I've been in insurance for a very long time, 35 years nearly, and I quite understand that, of course, the insurance company can do the job cheaper because insurance companies have the benefit of economies of scale. They are buying work from builders at large volumes, basically, so they're able to sort of get the rates lower. However, the difference, double the cost, is a bit astounding, really. And now I would much prefer A1 Bathrooms to do the work, but I can't afford to pay them to do the work at that kind of cost. Worst case scenario is I simply say to the insurance company, okay, you think you can get the work done for that amount, just get on with it. And then the only thing it costs me is the excess. What I would prefer would be if the insurers were to basically increase their offer and offer me what A1 are quoting, and I could just get A1 to do it, because then I know the work is going to be to the same standard. My main worry is that if they're quoting half as much work as, you know, in terms of cost, and this is including for replacing the lino floor, by the way, but then basically I'm concerned that the quality is not going to be as high. I'm also worried about finding matching tiles, although they're only a year old, so I don't think that's going to be a massive issue. But, you know, I don't want different tiles. The whole point of having both the rooms done at the same time, not the whole point, but one of the main bets was that, I wanted both rooms to look the same. I want the same tiles. So, this is my concern. I would much prefer if the insurers would just increase their offer, or even, whatever. As it is, I've got to pay £500 for an excess. So basically what I'm saying is most of my bonus money has gone immediately. Even before I got it, it had gone. But I have treated myself to a DJI Mic Mini 2 set, which comes with 2 microphones and can't open now, and receiver. Okay, so this is going to be what I carry around for this camera, and for working with my Insta360 X4, because you can attach a camera to that as well. And then my other set, I do have another set of Mic 2s. They're going to be my ones for exclusively at home. So in here I've got my Mic 2s with my lavalier mics. They'll be for travel, and the other ones will be exclusively for at home. So there you go. Yes, I know I've spent too much money on gadgets and DJI stuff, but I can't help myself. So anyway, this is the first video with the new Mic 2s that I've literally just unpacked. They had a bit of charge in them already, so that's good. What else is there to say? Actually, I can charge the box in the car. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? What else is there to say? So I've talked about the insurance job, I've talked about my bonus, still recovering from Doctor Who yesterday. Don't know if Billie Piper is going to be the new Doctor, or whether it's just a teaser or a placeholder, or what's going on really. We'll probably end up with something funky again, like By Generation, and something different's going to happen this time, but whatever. I'll go with it. Somebody quoted an old article from about a year ago that Ncuti Gatwa said he would be very angry or very annoyed if he didn't get to meet the Daleks. Well, he hasn't met the Daleks, so like I say, the first Doctor on screen not to have met the Daleks during his tenure. I have no doubt at all that will change in the future, either in a comic or in a book, or in some kind of expanded universe stuff, or Big Finish audio. But the fact is that during Ncuti Gatwa's tenure as Doctor Who, he never met the Daleks, because he's not the Doctor anymore. So, interesting, right? Interesting. Don't know what's going to happen there. So, what else is going on? Yeah, obviously on my way to my mother-in-law's for dinner. She'll probably text me in a minute asking where I am. Then I'm going to go and spend the afternoon with Liz at the hospital. Back to work tomorrow. Tomorrow I've also got British Gas coming, and they're going to look at my central heating, the 4 radiators that I had to have disconnected. Now, according to the phone call I made, this is covered, but I am fully expecting them to say no, it's not. And the problem there is, if they say it's not covered, that's another £1,500 I've got to find to get the plumbers out to reconnect 4 downstairs radiators, including the towel rail in the new bathroom. So that's a bit of a worry. But slowly but surely, the cursed kitchen is getting resolved, and it will be resolved. It's just that obviously my house is a bit of a building site still, because I've got lino up off the floor and massive exposed concrete trenches in the floor, which are a little tiny bit of a trip hazard, not to mention they cause dust and they just look horrible basically. But there you go. But on the whole, I think we're in a better situation than we were, slowly but surely. I made a complaint to the insurance company and they've finally acknowledged it, but my complaint was about what they were doing, but also you have to bear in mind, audience, that I was and am having an ongoing nervous breakdown because of the whole life-work situation. And basically, I will confess, I did take it out to a degree on them, although I don't think their performance has been exactly stellar given the circumstances. So there's a small part of me feels a little bit bad about that, but not completely. So there you go. Had a very nice day yesterday. Got up early for Doctor Who, right? Got up early for Doctor Who because it's normally on iPlayer at 8 o'clock in the morning. No, wasn't on iPlayer. You have to watch it at 10 to 7 along with everybody else. Ah, bollocks, right? Because it's the last episode. So, as it happens, I didn't start watching until 7, and I'm starting to get text messages from my wife, who's clearly watching it live and is probably 10 minutes ahead of me, saying, and of course I'm pausing also during watching because I'm making my notes for my review that I did yesterday. And I got this text from my wife saying, I liked the two Ranis line. And I'm like, luckily it didn't spoil the joke for me, but I thought, right, there's a good chance here she's going to spoil the ending for me. So I put my phone onto airplane mode, and it's lucky I did, because I took my phone off of airplane mode at the end of the episode to find out that basically she has written to me saying, Billy Piper, eh? Lucky I turned my phone off, otherwise that would have ruined it for me. So, also, of course, I don't know if anyone's watched it. I think 8 people have seen it so far. I did a new skit video. So far, my skit videos have been Andrew on safari, and I've basically just made them up as I go along. I see something on the road, I think, I'll do a safari video. And so far, every single one of my Total Ramblings videos has been unscripted. I literally make them up as I go along. I ramble on, I talk a load of crap, and basically I put them together as I go. However, back when Siobhan was alive, and I think the last time we went for dinner, I did this little skit with her where I pretended to be Terry Nation talking with his agent about how he'd picked up this new writing role. And then we kind of went on and we did other Doctor Who stories like it was a follow-up meeting, because, audience, in my opinion, Terry Nation is a little bit of a hack who got lucky with his creation of the Daleks and made millions. That's not to say I don't love the guy, because I love the guy, but even the BBC said that he consistently turned in the same scripts to them every single time. But he did create Survivors and Blake 7, and of course I must be thankful for that, although Chris Boucher, I think, took it to extra heights. So this is not out of hatred of Terry Nation, but I do think that he was a man who just happened to be in the right place at the right time, and he got very lucky. So anyway, I did this little skit with Siobhan, and then of course Siobhan died, and I never developed the idea further, but I finally thought, well, if I don't do this, someone else is going to do this. So I wrote a script. And so last night's episode, or this morning's episode of Total Ramblings, episode 278, the Terry Nation skit, the first of which I hope will be many, is the first one to have had a written script. So there you go, that's a first. I don't have a script now, I'm not reading from a script at the moment. Unfortunately, I think it is pretty obvious when you watch the video that occasionally I am glancing down to remind myself of the script, and that's something I need to improve, but this was my first one. I did kind of get some tips a couple of years ago from the Screen Rant pitch meeting guy, who kind of said that, to achieve the illusion of having two people talking to each other, it's a case of sometimes overlapping the audio and stuff like that, and I tried to do a bit of that, and I think on the whole it came out well. But be gentle with me, please, because it's the first time I've tried anything like this. Also, I gave away my green screen equipment years ago, and I had to kind of wing this with just something hanging from the ceiling. And I think, largely speaking, it came out okay. It's always a case of lighting the green screen properly so that you don't get, uneven fluctuations. And there's a little bit of that. But for a first attempt, I think it went pretty good. So that was my first scripted episode of Total Ramblings. I like doing the occasional skit. I haven't done very many of them. This is probably only about the 5th or 6th one, but it's something I'd like to do more of for Total Ramblings. And of course, this Terry Nation kind of discussion thing is kind of like the first of what I think will be a series. So there you go. I am now just arriving at my mother-in-law's house, so I am going to stop this video. I'm going to hope very much that this DJI mic Mini has picked up everything nicely. From looking at all the reviews, I think there's very little in it between the Mic 2 and the Mic Mini. Obviously you can't attach a lav mic to this, but that's okay. So I'm going to shut up now, and I'll see if we can get some words from Liz later. Right, dinner's done. Bloody lovely it was. Although really, 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 really hot in my mother-in-law's house, like swelteringly hot. So I got out as soon as I could because I like it nice and cool in my car at least. I've got air conditioning on, so yeah. So just wanted to say I've got hopefully some good videos coming up soon, including some unboxings. I would have unboxed the Mic Mini today, but I couldn't wait to get it out of the packet really, so never mind. But anyway, the Wand Company have been working for some years now on a Star Trek the original series tricorder, and I have 2 of their TOS phasers and 2 of their TOS communicators, and of course the tricorder is, you know, the third holy item really. They'll probably work on a Dr. McCoy medical kit next or something, I would have thought. But anyway, basically there's been issues, not issues with production, but production demand has outstripped production, shall we say, and also Trump's tariffs have caused chaos. So they've been kind of releasing batches on Amazon, and I had an email 2 weeks ago saying, hey, do you want to buy a tricorder? And they had 1 left, and I was negotiating with Liz because she said she'd buy it for my birthday, and then when I went to actually buy it, it had gone. And I have to say, it seems a bit hit and miss as to whether they're available on Amazon. So I did something a bit reckless and drastic, and I don't regret it, is I got one off eBay. And obviously I've paid more from eBay. This guy had bought 2 of them. And so I've got a brand new one sealed in box on the way. Anyway, as I say, I've paid over the odds for it. I don't have any regrets there. Liz is still buying it for me for my birthday. I just paid the extra, right? I paid some extra towards it. But anyway, the point is that should be coming this week. And then, of course, this morning I find them on Amazon again for the original amount. But whatever, I can't be, you know, there's only certain points of the month, year that I have money in my bank account, and I can't be messing around holding on to that, waiting for something that may or may not be coming to stock, and that I may or may not have a 5-minute window to go and grab when I am working and I've got other commitments going on. I went the eBay route because I knew I could get it there and then, whilst I had the money and whilst I had the time to do it. I can't be working to other people's schedules, if I'm honest with you. So that's on the way. Another exciting thing that's on the way, at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in the US, which I'll never visit, but they've got a full-size 1-to-1 scale mouse droid, MSE6, from Star Wars. I love the mouse droid, that little noise it makes, and basically I have bought one at a reasonable price, and it is on the way and should arrive this week, so I will do an unboxing for that. It's remote controlled, full-size 1-to-1 mouse droid. Probably my only chance of owning a 1-to-1 scale Star Wars droid, unless I win millions on the lottery, in which case I'd probably have an R2-D2 trundling around my mansion as well, but you know, or a K2SO droid doing security. I'd need a few of those, wouldn't I? I'd definitely need a few. 1 inside, 2 outside, 1 front, 1 back. A couple on spare on being I'd need 5 or 6 KS2 droids, KX droids. Anyway, whatever. So that's on the way. And then lastly, there's a company called Pubbets, Pubbets, and they make puppets. So years and years ago, in 2014 it was, Liz and I took a trip to New York City, and we went to FAO Schwartz, and they had you could build your own Muppet as in the Muppet Show, and I built Brian Boring, and then I bought his agent Howard, and then I got his Howard's secretary Ambiguity, and all these characters appeared in the Flashing Blade Vidiprog first edition, the one that I used to edit. We would record it and edit it in advance, Anyway, FAO Schwartz closed, vanished, and the Muppet workshop disappeared. Then I found this company called Puppets, and they make full body puppets with arm rods and everything. So these guys have got legs and clothes, whereas the Muppets only had upper bodies. Anyway, so I've got about 6 puppets that I've bought over the years. But what's happened is, again, because of tariffs and that kind of thing, they've stopped doing retail. So in other words, they used to do like monsters and standard build puppets. They've stopped doing that now, and they've gone exclusively custom. And a couple of months ago, knowing that my bonus was coming up, I was chatting with James, the guy who runs Puppets, and I'd built one online, and I said, I'm building me. I want a moustache, because I've got a moustache. And that's another thing about Doctor Who. Doctor Who no longer has a moustache if it's Billie Piper, and I was, liking the moustache. Never mind. Anyway, I've ordered my puppet now, my analogue of me, as close as possible to how I dress and look. But I need to have this moustache added, which I think he might be doing with an airbrush. So that will be coming at some point, although I think it's 3 to 4 weeks delivery for that. So there's some exciting stuff coming up that will soon be delivered, which I can then unbox and feature on this channel. So there you go. That's kind of an update from me. It's now 10 to 3, and apparently it's going to take me about 40 minutes to get to Liz. I'm going to go past Frensham Pond, where I've always wanted to stop and take some lovely photos of the yachts, but I don't know where to park the car. That's the problem. On this side, I know where to park it. There's a hotel, but on this side, where I want to get the shots across the lake with the yachting club in the background. But I'll probably see that in a minute and go, oh, I haven't got my thingy with me. I can't fly my drone there because there's an aerodrome there, and blah blah blah. Yeah, whatever. Okay, gonna stop talking again now. Say hello to the boys and girls.
Hello, boys and girls.
You're not going to wave to the boys and girls. What have you been doing in the last week?
Sleeping. I've got a new mattress. Physio on Tuesday and Thursday. Shower on Monday and Friday. New mattress on Wednesday. I slept for 6 hours last night.
Your mum says you were grumpy yesterday.
I wasn't.
Says you were.
I wasn't. I don't believe I was.
You were grumpy when I visited you on Tuesday.
I don't believe I was.
You spent the whole time moaning about everything.
I moan, yeah. That's not being grumpy.
Well, it is though.
That's just moaning.
Happy people don't moan.
I do.
Well, you're not happy then.
I moan all the time.
Well, then you're not happy.
I am.
But you're not.
Alice visited yesterday.
How was she?
She was alright. Proceeded to eat all my cheesesteaks. And then when I told her to take them, I said, no, I don't want them anymore.
Tell me your Doctor Who theory.
I don't think it's the Doctor.
Why?
Because you can't use an established character like Rose Tyler to come back as a different character.
You can, and Doctor Who's done it before. At least twice.
When?
Colin Baker appeared in Doctor Who and then became Doctor Who. Peter Capaldi appeared in Doctor Who and in Torchwood and then became Doctor Who.
But they weren't established characters.
Yes, they were.
Of 3 series.
Well, they were established characters. You're changing the goalposts now.
No, but Rose is a really established, well-liked character. So I don't think you can do that. Because she's also appeared as bit part in most series of Doctor Who as well, as Rose.
It's science fiction, there's no rules.
I think it would ruin the character of Rose if she's a Doctor. I can understand for one episode, but not a whole series, changing her name from Rose to the Doctor.
But also, in the credits, did you see what it said in the credits?
Yeah, I read that. I have read that. No, I didn't read it. I've read somebody writing that it said introducing Billy Piper.
Yep, but not as Doctor Who.
Not as Doctor Who.
Yep.
So people are using that as a, no, she's not the Doctor. I think she might morph into the Doctor for one episode and then possibly come back as Rose.
What are you doing next week?
Physio on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's it.
Okay.
You're
Well, good.
visiting Monday tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mum's visiting Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yep.
You're visiting Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Mum on Friday. Saturday, we'll wait and see.
Wave goodbye to the boys and girls then.
Goodbye. Can I have a stick?